Good evening and welcome to Australia Today. Tonight we are taking a closer look into families of single parents and why society as a whole views them as being oppressed. The number of single parent families continues to grow in Australia, with the 2016 census stating that there were 959,000 single parent families with children recorded. We often hear about single parent families through the media, family and friends, but do we think this exposure shapes negative attitudes towards single parent families? Yesterday I sat down to have a talk with two people willing to give their views on Australia's perception of single parent families. Joyce herself, who has experienced raising two children being a single mum, and Matthew, who has grown up in a single parent family. First, let's talk about what attitudes are and how they are formed. An attitude can either be positive or negative and is based on a value or worth assigned to an object or person. But where do these attitudes come from? They come from a variation of different attitude formations such as life experiences, family, friends, religions, culture, and the media. When thinking about attitude formation, we can look at the tri-component model of attitudes. The tri-component model relates to the psychology of how attitudes are formed. The three components are cognitive component, which relates to what a person believes, understands, and knows about a certain object, group, or person. The affective component relates to how these beliefs make a person feel, and the cognitive component relates to the behaviour you are going to present based on these beliefs and feelings. Now let's cross over to hear Joyce and Matthew's views.
I think society's views on single parents are that even though they do the best job they can never live up to the full expectations of a what you could call a more normal household. And I think that's the problem these days, where a lot of people on social media and also in the media would view like single parents as not having a normal household or a normal living situation.
So as a single parent, I think that society views myself and most single parents as being less capable. The fact there's one of us doing what two people would normally do. I think media has a big influence on that as well. The views that on the fact that there's only one income and trying to make ends meet. And just basically day-to-day living, it is tough, but there is a negative. I believe there is a negative view through society in general.
So the stereotypes formed by society through social media and also the media, I think affect the parents in a way because they feel more stressed and they feel like they can't do the job of two parents at the same time. And I think it can cause undue stress when they are doing a perfectly substantial job. In regards to the children, I think the children would feel this stress as well that their parents have and probably feel a bit bad.
I believe society does stereotype single parents. It has affected me. I feel like I'm put into a bubble of my own and I'm different from everyone else. The children, of course, they're affected, especially when they see other children with two parents, going to different events, different sporting events, anything that a lot of parents go there together. And of course, we're having to do it on our own. Although I believe I'm capable of doing it on my own, there is a stereotype that is formed, and it does affect both yourself and the children.
I think having a more positive outlook through media and social media again is very important to change these perceptions on single parents. I think it's also important that through the education system, through primary school and high school particularly, that people are taught that single parents, either through statistics or through real life examples in the classroom, that single parents are doing a perfectly fine job and that there is a high divorce rate in this country, so it's not an unnormal situation to have divorced parents and to be living with only one parent.
Be more education around this. I think that not only adults should be more educated more, but I think the children in a classroom situation should probably be shown that there are different types of families and not all families have two parents for different reasons. So I think in general just society should be shown different circumstances and different family situations so that people understand the way I'm living at the moment in comparison to the way a dual parent family would be living.
Well, thank you, Matthew and Joyce, for taking part in our interview. When I hear the word stereotype, I understand that it is a judgment towards a group, and through their opinions, it is clear that there is a negative stereotype around single parents that Australia needs to take a look at and take some action towards. Well, that's it for tonight. If you have any comments on tonight's segment, please hop on Australia Today's Twitter and hashtag #AT Single Parent Families. We would love to hear your views. Thank you and good night.